All right, YouTube. So today's video is very different. It's very special, and I am bringing it to you on the Nikon. And the title of this video is Nikon Zf, the DSLR that Nikon made mirrorless. What does that really mean? This is a thought that I've had for quite some time, and I always wondered why Nikon did not put something like this into one of their DSLRs when they had the opportunity, and maybe they waited for the mirrorless, realm of things to be able to do certain things differently before making a camera like the Nikon Zf. So here's a Nikon Zf. It does have a Zeiss lens on there right now. Here's a Nikon lens. I can stick that on there too, but this is what's on there right now, and then we're going to talk about why this is on there and what are we planning to do with this. So with that, if you're here for the Nikon Zf, and why I truly believe it actually is literally a DSLR at heart, and or even a film camera at heart, just in a mirrorless, presentation. So if you're here for that, stay. If you don't know me, I am Amar. I shoot many systems. Nikon is one of them. Can't really say a system. I only bought the Zf because I just fell in love with it when I actually had the opportunity from Nikon India, where someone popped one out of a Pelican case and showed it to me before it was even available in the United States, and I had to have it. They let me try it and brought back a lot of memories. So if you haven't watched those videos, you can go onto my channel, check it out, and actually watch it. So with that, what are we trying to do in this video? We're trying to actually talk about why Nikon did what they did. This is, again, my view. I don't really, honestly, if you're a hardcore Nikon fan, that is like to a point where you become brutal with people because they have a difference of opinion. This video is not for you. You can probably leave now. But hear me out, because this is a very different take on it. And sometimes the people that look from the outside inwards into a system, product, whatever it is, usually have better insights because they're not, their judgment is not clouded by their bias that they have towards the brand, because they love it, they own it. I mean, I get it. We all have those. So why the ZF? The way the ZF is actually made, I don't have any facts on this, but I can tell you right now, with the build quality of this camera is not cheap to produce. This camera is every bit in the same quality range, right, as a really high-end DSLR film camera from the older era, and or a mirrorless camera. They did not chimp on anything in this camera, nothing, down to the dials. I made a passing reference in one of my videos that the Nikon Zf is built better than most of their other mirrorless cameras. That is my opinion, and that opinion is not going to change. I don't really care how you feel. If you're butthurt, then you're butthurt. You can take it and shove it somewhere else. Okay? Enough of that. I had some people becoming bullies and cyber bullies and trolls on here because they either own a Z9 or whatever, and they just felt bad. The Z9 ain't built this way. It's not. You wish, but it's not. Down to every dial, the precision of the finish of every dial. By the way, these are brass underneath. If you put a little bit of paint thinner, this will come off. They really have gone to town into truly preserving that pure retro look. Not only the look. So they made a ZFC, In my opinion, it's a plastic fantastic if that's what you like, right? This is not, right? This is rock solid all the way, metal everywhere you look on this thing. Extremely well made. Every dial has a really tactile feel. You can hear the clicks. It's clean. It's a clean implementation of what can be built in modern days, which is today, trying to build it to the same quality that we used to have before. What makes this camera so special is, number one, it's got the latest technology inside of it from Nikon. I think it's got like an XP7. I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really care about the specs. The specs are not what sold me this camera. It's just holding it in my hand. And when I heard the shutter go off, the shutter is slightly different in this. So we'll give it a second to get going here. It should be on. Yeah, it's on. Let me see if I can get it close to this mic so you can kind of hear it. Here. It's got a sound to it, but it's not blaring. It actually has a mechanical shutter in it. It's a good thing. Some Nikon cameras don't have any. I'm glad it does. I love to shoot with a mechanical shutter. I like to hear it. That's me. You do whatever you want to do. The other thing that I really absolutely love is the simplicity of use on how to use it. Auto, program, right? You're literally just you're moving this on the corner here, right down here, to whatever mode that you want to be in. It's simple. It's not complicated. You want to set your shutter speed, you can. We already talked about some of the nuances that they had in the previous firmware updates in the initial stages of this. They've apparently fixed a lot of things. Kind of cool. I really truly enjoy using this, especially on the C mode, and then a third step here, and then controlling it to however you want in the manual mode. Exposure compensation dials here. So it gives you that entire film DSLR type of, feel right here with the dials and all of the stuff happening. But the other thing with this thing is they did something very genius. And you'll probably correct me, I'm sure. And I've mentioned this before. This screen has actual space between the body and the screen here. It's not flushed all the way. This was genius by them because when this thing is totally flush, this here is perfectly flush. I mean, I am all about seams and everything lining up to perfection. This right here is as close to you're going to get to perfection today in the camera world. So I know you guys have a hard time. You guys, a lot of people think that the Nikon RAW files are the goodness. Little did they know, the real goodness is what they have built here. And majority of the people that own Nikon never ever bought this camera. What a damn shame. They have no clue. It's technologically, it might not be the most advanced, but by the looks of what it is and what it does, it's plenty good in here. And this particular sensor is also tuned with this black and white mode that they have, especially if you put it to monochrome flat. Absolutely love the look of that because that's how I typically used to shoot my black and white film, with almost a one-stop, two-stop over exposing the film, which is pulling the film, not pushing the film, And if you have never shot film, you probably don't know what the heck I'm talking about. If you haven't, learn the concept or get some film and experiment. That look in a JPEG is to die for if you have the right lenses on it. So the body is so incredible that I have started to shoot this camera quite a bit recently with the Zeiss baddest lenses. So you're probably going to sit there and say, why don't you buy Nikon glass and this and that? I'm sure some of it is great. The look that I'm going for with these baddest lenses is unmatched. There is something about Zeiss, and you all know that. And we can't even argue that. It is what it is, right? There's something about Nikon lenses. There's something about Canon lenses. Each one has its thing. What I am really interested in doing is capturing some things with this camera. And they're not award-winning photos, but they're photos that mean something to me, right? They might not mean a thing to you. Or some of them might actually have an emotional value to it. They might drive you. They might tell a story for you. So what I'm pledging to do here with this camera and this setup, this is the 25mm f2 baddest. Now you're probably thinking, why not a 24? Why not a 28? Why 25? I'll tell you this. Sometimes when I shoot 28, I wish I was wider. Sometimes when I shoot 24, I wish I didn't have as much distortion and issues. This guy, pretty damn good. You don't believe me? Go look it up on DxO, PXO, FXO, GXO, whatever site you want. This lens is incredible. Are there sharper lenses? Sure. Are there better lenses? Sure. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that Zeiss look, number one. Number two, I'm looking for a lens that has one of the best micro contrasts in the lens elements available in the business. And Zeiss, Leica, those types of lenses, they got that down. No one's got to beat them. That's the big difference. That's what makes it so special. So this pairing combination here, even though this was made for the Sony system, it works extremely well on a Nikon Zf, and I truly love it. So we'll do the 25 f2, and then also we're going to do the 40. This is the 40 f2 close focus Zeiss baddest lens. This is $1,000. I think I showed it in my other video. The Nikon version 40 f2, I think it's f2. I don't even know. Yeah, f2 SE lens. Same thing, pretty much. Big difference in size, but it's also a big difference in price. So we're going to use the 40, and then we're going to use the 25 f2 baddest lenses on here, and then create another video which will come in the month of February for sure. So please stay tuned for that. So if you have interest in that, especially if you own a ZF, looking to buy one, anything like that, leave your comments below because I'm very curious. I've had mine for about 2 years, ever since it came out. And I truly, absolutely love my ZF. So I know you guys have a hard time believing it, but it's true. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other. Looking forward to the dialogue in the comments, and be nice to each other. Go out there, create your magic, and I'll talk to you on the next one.